to follow through on building projects. When the U.S. withdrew from those areas, the programs ended outright. Other programs, which were meant to increase Afghan government control, backfired even worse. In giving the corrupt Afghan government control over more districts, they exposed those areas to much greater corruption.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the former commanding officer of the USS John McCain pled guilty on Friday to dereliction of duty for a crash in 2017 that killed 10 soldiers. Under the plea deal, Navy Commander Alfredo Sanchez was issued a punitive letter of reprimand and was ordered to forfeit $6,000 in wages. Sanchez also agreed to submit a letter of resignation. The USS John McCain collided with an oil tanker, the Alnic MC, on August 20th, 2017 after making a sudden turn in the Singapore Strait. The turn caused the U.S. Navy warship to head into the path of the tanker. The Transportation Safety Investigation Bureau of Singapore said in a report in March that when the oil tanker crew saw the U.S. warship turning, they presumed the vessel could safely pass ahead.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Reuters reports a jury in South Carolina on Friday could not agree on a verdict in a case of a woman whose family said her long-term use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder led to her death from asbestos-related cancer, which resulted in a mistrial. The case of Bertila Boyd Bosket, who died of a rare form of cancer in 2017 at the age of 30, is the latest in a series of trials in the United States that center around allegations that the company's talc-based powder contained asbestos. The company said in a statement, "We're disappointed that the jury did not reach a unanimous verdict for Johnson & Johnson," adding the talc in Johnson's baby powder does not contain asbestos, which is supported by more than 50 years of independent, non-litigation-driven scientific evaluations. Asbestos is a known carcinogen linked to mesothelioma, the type of cancer Boyd Bostic had been diagnosed with at the age of 29. After 2 weeks of trial, the jury in Darlington County Court of Common Pleas in South Carolina said it could not decide whether Johnson & Johnson was responsible for the disease. Under South Carolina state law, a jury has to make a unanimous decision. The case also named as a defendant the U.S. unit of talc supplier Imeris, as well as the local unit of the Rite Aid, one of the largest drugstore chains, which allegedly sold the baby powder used by the woman. Johnson & Johnson is battling some 9,000 cases claiming its talc products caused ovarian cancer, but litigants have recently focused on claims based on alleged asbestos contamination. The California jury on Thursday awarded $25.7 million in damages to a woman and her husband over allegations that the company's baby powder had caused her mesothelioma. A New Jersey jury in April ordered Johnson & Johnson and Imeris Talc America to pay $117 million to a man who alleged he developed mesothelioma due to asbestos exposure from talc-based products. The company won the only other asbestos-related trial in November when a Los Angeles Superior Court jury ruled in their favor. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Patrons at a local Boston sports club watched dumbfounded today as an unidentified man's personal trainer forced him to put on an embarrassing athletic spectacle for the entire gym.
Like a machine, there you go.
According to sources, the degrading little show went on for nearly 45 minutes, with the man reportedly being paraded around every section of the fitness establishment doing anything his trainer commanded.
I wish I could turn around and concentrate on my workout, but I can't help but keep watching. He has to know how ridiculous he looks.
Sources added that the whole spectacle was made even sadder by the personal trainer encouraging the man to, quote, push himself a little harder.
It's like watching a f***ing trained seal.
Okay, so when you stand like that, you want to feel pressure in your knees, like this, right here, okay? Okay, give it a shot.
You root for him to tell the trainer that he's a human being with dignity and just walk away. But no, he keeps subjecting himself to this.
All right. Let's have you get on your back, walk like a crab. Come on.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
That's right. It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
That's right. So, who's out of here? Daryl. Daryl's not sitting in the studio like he's supposed to be.
Is he in Omaha still?
I think so. I think there was some kind of convention that he was at.
Sounds very Daryl-like.
Yeah, that does sound very Daryl-like indeed. So, you got us, and we're here to take your calls. The number I will give you here relatively shortly. And if you've got any Memorial Day stuff you want to call in with, you're certainly welcome to. I'm sick and tired of getting called anti-American, so I didn't bring anything in. Because, I don't know what to tell you. The definition of Memorial Day is honoring soldiers who died in battle, just so you're clear. That's, starting with your premise.
Right.
So, there you go. Chris, you got something about guns in where? Oregon, Seattle, someplace?
Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle's usually good for a story.
It is. And you're from
Oregon.
Yeah. So some relationship to that?
Yeah. I think our signs on facing Washington on the road said, "Welcome to Oregon. Please enjoy your visit." We had the same ones facing California at that time.
I see. Well, I can tell you as a person from Florida, I often get confused for whatever reason as having lived somewhere, have some clue as to what it's like to live in Miami. And I've never lived in Miami in my life. I don't know anything about it.
I hear you.
I mean, I've been through a few times and it seemed nice, but not my town.
I've been there. I've done some classes and stuff like that down there. I did make sure to hit a little Havana for a Cuban sandwich.
Indeed.
And a whole bunch of really great cigars. But Seattle has determined that it wants to fine gun owners for not properly storing their weapons.
Okay, I can say that there are plenty of stories in American news of gun owners like losing their guns and them either harming one of their family members or being used in crimes or a variety of things. I think that the shooter in Texas, Santa Fe, Texas, that recently occurred, he took his father's guns.
Correct. Okay. And there have been other examples. Sandy Hook, I can't remember the shooter's name, and it's not worth repeating, but he had killed his mother and then taken her guns, which he then had access to. So by no means are we saying that this sort of thing doesn't ever happen, but the mayor of Seattle introduced legislation on Thursday that would fine gun owners $500 to $10,000 for failing to safeguard their firearms.
Okay.
The proposal, drafted by Mayor Jenny Durkin and Council Member M. Lorena Gonzalez, follows a string of deadly mass shootings at high schools in Florida, Texas, and elsewhere. Durkin sent the legislation to Seattle's City Council for consideration, according to the Seattle Times. Last year, Washington State enacted a, quote, extreme risk gun law that allowed local police to confiscate weapons from citizens believed to pose a danger to themselves or to others.
I always fear these sorts of things. Now, first off, it's not like I'm dying to have lunatics carrying around weapons.
No one would.
But the problem is when I don't get to define what a lunatic is.
Sure.
I'm sure I know. But I'm not sure that your average police officer or politician or gun-grabbing housewife or whomever it might be knows.
Right.
I'm reasonably certain that some of those people will use any measure to get guns away from anybody.
Right.
So that's why I don't like this stuff.
Yeah, well, it doesn't pay for the police to help you own a gun. There's no reason why they would want you to have one.
Right.
As long as they've got one, then that's fine. And for the public to have it just increases the danger for them.
I've literally had police officers tell me basically what you're saying is just leave the gun ownership to us.
Yeah.
We're the qualified ones. I've talked to you for 10 minutes. I can tell you didn't do better than a C average in high school. You are not the one to protect me. That's how I felt in that particular circumstance.
Right. And I try to gauge my readiness with how many rounds of ammo I shoot versus my local police department.
And your local police department's required to shoot how many?
Well, I look at their budget of what they're actually spending each year on ammo, and I exceed that.
Okay.
So, I'm shooting
You're talking about
more.
the whole department. You're not shooting the department.
Well, I do break it down to a per-person thing. So our whole department of 2 police officers.
Gotcha.
So far, officers have seized 43 guns from citizens in Seattle, including a man who threatened to kill people at a church, a suicidal woman, and a guy who brandished a handgun in a residential building, the Times reported.
I kind of feel like, at least 2 of those circumstances, you've already, there was already something illegal going on.
Correct.
So this new law added as a layer on top of all the other laws that existed might not have been necessary. Look, I'm not saying I want suicidal people shooting themselves. I don't want that either.
No.
I will say that I don't think that suicide should be included in the statistics of homicide and gun crimes and all these other things out there.
I couldn't agree more.
I kind of feel like that's bald-faced lies.
Yeah, exactly. And if somebody wants to off themselves, there's a lot of different ways. It so happens that if you have a firearm handy, that seems to be almost a preferred choice. It's quick. It's pretty hard to screw up.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and
I've seen it screwed up, I mean.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not nice.
it can be done too. If Durkin's measures pass, Seattle gun owners could be met with a civil infraction if, quote, an at-person risk, including minors, accesses a weapon that was not properly secured. Durkin's proposal only applies to weapons that need to be stored and excludes guns carried or owned by authorized users. And I think in Washington State, that's a pretty narrow definition of who's actually allowed to have a concealed carry permit or...
Is it really? I would have guessed. I mean, Washington isn't Seattle, but Seattle is a...
Seattle drives the politics for the entire state. And it's sort of like Oregon in that respect is the very liberal Multnomah Valley around Portland and things like that pretty much decides everything for the other 99.999% of the landmass.
Right.
Which has little population.
The people that are living out east in Washington and Oregon, they're nothing like those that are living on the coast.
No.
And they're going to need to have their guns.
Yeah.
And they're going to have, I wouldn't think that it would be that difficult for them to get the concealed carry, I guess, is what I was thinking.
I can't speak to Washington, but I'll look into that. In Oregon, it's becoming increasingly a challenge to do so, and they're, I think, the worst state for anybody to attempt to have reciprocity with, like for another state to say, okay, our concealed carriers can go to Oregon.
Right.
Oregon only allows reciprocity to neighboring states. So if you're Washington, Idaho, California, you can get reciprocity, but then you have to go apply to the local sheriff in some county in Oregon that borders where you're at. It's kind of insane. Her announcement arrives just months after thousands of students across the country protested gun violence and called for stricter gun measures following the mass shootings at a high school in Parkland, Florida in February that left 17 dead. Quote, the level of gun violence in our communities is not normal, and we can never think it is inevitable. We, especially our children, should not have to live like this, Durkin said in a statement obtained by the paper. So...
It's the children. I mean, we had to throw the children in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the idea that, guns being locked up, if you fail to do so, makes it a crime. That's just not the case in every example. If I live alone, and maybe that's where the $500 fine comes in as opposed to the $10,000 fine. If I live by myself and I leave a loaded gun around or I don't lock up my gun in a gun safe, what's the big deal?
What if the rifle's higher than your kids can reach?
Right. And I guess the theory is given Seattle's level of crime, maybe somebody could break in, take it, and use it for nefarious purposes. I don't know.
But that's true anywhere.
Right. Exactly.
The number is 855-450-3733. What do you think? Is this a good idea? Make it so people have to lock their guns up? 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live. What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
That's right, it's Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. Right now, we're discussing the apparently yet another gun law in a federation that has a Second Amendment that says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now you have to, at the pain of fines, have your gun locked up.
Yep. And as a practical matter, let's say you were subject to a home invasion and you needed to act quickly to defend hearth and home. Having your gun locked up is a little bit of, it's sort of defeating the purpose, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I knew a guy that slept with a gun under his pillow. I really don't like the idea. And I don't know how he slept as well as he did, but...
did he have a MyPillow?
I don't know that he had No, he would not have, certainly not have had a MyPillow.
I'm just saying.
But I'll tell you about, as a matter of fact, you can, mypillow.com, coupon code FTL. It's a great way to get a great pillow, and I love mine. I hate traveling without it. There have been times when I've had to travel without it. But this is well worth it. It holds your head and neck in the right position, keep you from getting those headaches, perhaps. I mean, if they're based on your neck being in the wrong position. But if you've got headaches, if you've got neck pain, this is a place to start. Also, you can wash the thing, so there's whatever disgusting creepy crawlies are crawling around in there, you won't have to deal with that. It's mypillow.com, code FTL, and that'll solve that problem for you. Let's go to the phones. Got Kenny calling in from Arizona. Listen to K-Talks. Kenny, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, I was just wondering where people get the notion that they have a right to tell other people how they're going to defend themselves. When I wake up in the morning and look in the mirror in the bathroom, that's the person who's most responsible for defending me.
Yeah,
I agree.
It seems to me that a gun is a tool, that we have the right to have tools, to buy and sell tools. It's a tool for self-defense. You've got the right to defend yourself. I mean, you need to be liable for your actions, no doubt.
Absolutely.
But this idea that we're somehow going to prevent bad things from happening by limiting people's rights, it's a problem.
The deal about Oregon also, Dwight and Steve Hammond are still locked up because of the Ninth Circuit. We've still got some really bad judges out there.
Yes, they do. Yeah, and that is still tragic for those of you who may not know.
Yeah, I need help.
Yeah, those were the farmers that I would say were sort of the inspiration for the Malheur refuge occupation by some of the Bundys and some other folks that headed out there. They were basically found guilty after they were found innocent because, you can't let something you want to do go the wrong way for you if you're the government. And they were convicted, I believe, the charges were all arson, and they were basically defensive burns on their property to prevent destruction. Due to wildfires that were already going on. So
we did that all the time down in Florida. It was a regular. You got to burn back the palmetto bushes, and if you don't, A, the cattle can't graze, and B, you're going to get a fire that's going and it makes that little burn look bad.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, some of that land that was in question may involve, uranium-1, some deal that involved the Clintons and the Russians, and whether or not they would
land management
be,
Well, it's just scorched sagebrush, for crying out loud. That's all it is up there. That's the same thing I got here right where I live in Arizona. I got some cactus mixed with mine, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts what these people are putting up with and causing us.
I agree.
I think with democracy...
Thanks for the call, Kenny.
Appreciate it.
With American democracy, people believe they have a right to tell you every aspect of whatever business you got going on.
And I mean, it's not to say that democratic decisions aren't good ways to solve certain problems, but they're not good ways to solve every problem by any stretch of the imagination. Mm-hmm. I mean, you wouldn't go to a community center and allow people to decide by a vote how your brain surgery was going to go. You'd go to an expert,
right?
Somebody who's an expert in brain surgery. And maybe you'd want the word of 1 or 2 or 3 brain surgery experts, but to let every Nimrod out there make some kind of decision as to how things are going to go for you, that's not. I mean, that's just plain old dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because the idea of following anything that was written in the Constitution went by the wayside long ago, they don't feel any restraint. So they feel they can pass a law on really anything they want, and it's up to us to challenge it. But you go to a government court to challenge the government, and
you don't have standing.
Yeah, oftentimes that's a loaded case before it gets there.
Sorry. You don't have standing. And the idea that you can afford to do that, to take the federal government has legions of lawyers on staff that are there paid to fight you. You've got to go hire a lawyer to fight for you. Your tax dollars, you pay to fight yourself.
Yeah. And not just at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. I mean, it's all on you to challenge. And it's kind of rigged. Kind of.
It's quite rigged. So what was the last part of this article?
An estimated 150,000 adults reported keeping firearms unlocked in their homes in King County in 2015. King County is where Seattle is. And at least 250 guns were reported stolen in Seattle last year, the legislation says. In March, when Durkin and Gonzalez first announced their intention to develop gun storage legislation, a spokesperson of the Citizens Committee for the Right to Bear Arms predicted the legislation could run afoul of the state law that prohibits Washington cities from regulating guns. At the time, the mayor
regulation
said
we're just regulating safes, not guns.
Exactly. It's all about the safes. The mayor said she expected her proposal to be challenged in court, but expressed confidence Seattle would prevail because the legislation wouldn't stop anyone from buying, carrying, or transporting a gun.
One thing she's certainly confident of, she won't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
She's confident that she can take this case to court, and that the people of Seattle and the people of Seattle, Washington, will have to, pay for this, and she won't.
Absolutely.
So she gets to push her agenda, and she doesn't have to pay for it, and that is the optimal circumstance for these people.
Sure.
I may not think it seems like a good idea to have safes, and I hear that there are safes that are designed that people can get into them quickly.
Yes, there are.
But there's a problem with that, and it's that, it's a safe that's you're designed to get in quickly, but not every poor person can afford. I mean, the safe costs as much as the gun or more.
Yes, and particularly when you start looking into those fast entry safes that are frequently biometric. So first of all, we have the problem of biometrics, and are they going to be accurate? Are they going to respond every single time? And you're absolutely correct. The price goes up and up and up when you start adding on those features. And to the gun grabbers, hey, no big deal. They can afford it. They bought the gun, right?
Right. The politicians, they can afford it. You're already paying them very, very well.
Yes, we are.
But the people who live in the poor side of town, they've got rights to protect themselves too. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You'd think for such a controversial subject.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code radio at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
If you're a
Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We're talking about laws on how to properly store your weapon in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And how, well, probably people who don't use weapons at all
that would be my
guess.
Weapons, yes.
Are telling the rest of us how to go about storing our weapons.
Lock it up, and if you don't have it locked up and a cop happens to see it for whatever circumstances, face a fine of $500 to $10,000.
That's absolutely right. And when it comes to, having a weapon, also it's a good idea to have some kind of on-site surveillance at your place, because you can't be there all the time. You can't know everything, and it's a great idea to have some kind of evidence. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if something, went down, you weren't, you lost, you were in the losing end, but the courts now have access to some video of what actually happened at the house. Your wife's able to contact, Blink and get the video. Maybe she's got the app on her phone. I've got Blink at my house. I've been happy the whole time with what I have, and that is some video cameras that are set to go on and off at certain times. That way I'm not just setting them off when I walk outside and the camera goes off and that kind of thing. And you can have them indoors, you can have them outdoors. Whatever works for you works for them. It lets you monitor from your home. As a matter of fact, you can check in on those cameras 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anytime you want. You get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys charge, plus an extra 15% off if you go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's how you get the 15% off. Believe me, you don't get it otherwise. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Well, I guess there's other organizations that also offer a discount, but if you don't do, just go to blinkprotect.com. I'm not going to promise you a discount. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Very happy with mine and very happy to recommend them to others. Want to welcome KYCA AM 1490 and 103.5 in Prescott, Arizona.
Nice.
They are carrying Free Talk Live Monday from midnight to 3 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So thank you very much, KYCA AM, and more importantly, the listeners thereof.
Absolutely. We hope to hear from them.
Indeed. You can call in. Free Talk Live is live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or whatever. From 7p to 10p Eastern Time. You can use Skype, and that is lrn.fm is the username. Or you can use our Discord at discord.freetalklive.com. It's a great chat room attached to that, and I think you'll enjoy that experience. Free Talk Live is a bit unlike most radio programs that you're used to. We've got a panel as opposed to one talking head. We are not named after that talking head, so it's not the Mark show. It's not the Ian show. As a matter of fact, I'm Mark.
I'm Jonny Ray.
And I'm Chris.
Yeah, Ian's not even on tonight. There are different nights a week. You'll have different hosts. And it's basically a panel discussion about the issues of the day. We're generally all libertarians here, so you can call in about the issues. You don't have to agree with us.
It's actually more fun for me when they don't.
Yeah, well,
I like to hear another point of view, and that's always good.
I do think that a person who's intelligent is looking for other points of view, because I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because it helps me learn something, and I've got something new to look at and chase down and figure out what the case may be. I remember I think it was last week or the week before, Starchild called in, challenged my beliefs on something, and suddenly I didn't know exactly what I thought. And I'm happy about that.
Right.
That's a good thing. I'm still parsing that out. Still don't have a particular answer at this point. I have to go with the answer. I have to go with Starchild because Starchild's shown me something that I didn't really realize otherwise.
Mark, you set me straight on something a couple weeks ago. I get these emails from the sovereign man, Simon Black, and he's told me in these emails many times that any kind of legislative spending adjustments or tweaking in Washington, D.C. were absolutely hopeless because the revenue that the U.S. government takes in is pretty tiny compared to their the outlays that they are required to put out. And you pointed out to me that Simon Black was not in his summation of total government revenue. He was leaving out payroll taxes, which is another $1 billion or so that really kind of crushed Simon Black's argument under the heel of your logic. And I'd been laboring under that misinformation for years. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's possible to turn things around in Washington, D.C. They simply won't. Quite simply will not do it. They don't have the guts. They don't have the motivation.
Or the incentives.
Right. Incentives aren't there. That's kind of what I was trying to say with motivations. The incentive isn't there.
Yeah.
The incentive for politicians is to spend like drunken sailors, and it's not to be responsible. I mean, these sessions are 2 years long in the case of the House of Representatives. What kind of responsibility is that going to breed?
Maybe we need new bums.
Yep.
Can we vote some new bums in? Will that fix it?
We need new bums with the same crappy incentives, and then we'll get something better.
That'll happen.
Finally.
That'll work. There we go.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this legislation in Seattle where they're talking about taking guns and telling folks that they have to have them locked up.
Locked up and secured.
So, Chris, I got to say, I like the idea of people having their guns locked up.
I like,
and you're the gun expert guy, so you're going to get this question.
Yeah.
Jonny Ray, I wouldn't ask you if you had a gun, but you don't seem like a big gun expert.
I'm not a gun expert.
Yeah.
I would say that I want people to own and keep firearms responsibly, and that does not mean it's always locked up in a gun safe. Now, with that said, I do have guns that are kept in safes because it's not that I'm concerned that, someone's going to grab it and shoot somebody, because in my house that would not happen. But I am concerned about theft. My house can get broken into until I get a Blink security system like Mark has. That can happen.
Your house could still get broken into with a blink security system. It isn't some kind of Swiss guard standing around outside.
There's no laser beams on the cameras.
I wish there were halberds, though.
Yeah, there we go. But that's a reality. So you want to protect things that are valuable, and guns are one of those things that have value to me. So
guns are about the only thing worth stealing out of a house. Jewelry and guns, in my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much value for jewelry. My wife doesn't have much value for jewelry.
Right.
It doesn't enter into my mind much. But when it comes to a home, basically there are only things. So if you don't have jewelry there, the only thing to steal are guns.
Yeah.
And you don't get much out of jewelry, and you don't get much out of guns.
Yep.
But you get almost nothing out of color television sets.
Exactly.
You can get one at Walmart for. I just saw a big one, 45 inches, for like $450.
It's crazy. That's the thing, and I would never advocate that someone purchase one gun for their home and always leave it locked in a safe, because that is literally going to do you no good. I would advocate some way of keeping your gun secure, and that's really what I think of when I think of these things. I want to have, the bulk of my arsenal is locked up and it's safe, more safe against robbery and theft. But should the need arise, again, a home invasion, a burglary, any number of reasons why I might need to quickly, where I live, animals. So the bulk of the time, my quote-unquote unsecured gun is either, within arm's reach or it's on my hip, and that's where it stays. When it's bedtime, it's beside the bed. In such a manner that I can grab it quickly. And other than that, if you're going to take me out, here's a clue. When I'm in the shower is when I'm furthest from a gun in my life.
Well, if only we knew Chris's shower schedule. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I think a gun safe's a good idea. Mandating it, is that a good idea? Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. You could sign up for our newsletter. We have a weekly newsletter we send out. It's nothing long or, hugely annoying or anything like that. We won't share your information. Basically, it's just a little information on Free Talk Live, what's going on with us sort of behind the scenes and that kind of thing. And it's, well, if you like Free Talk Live, it's worth finding out. Just go to freetalklive.com. There is a little panel there to enter your email address. And again, we promise we won't share it. Believe me, Ian won't even share it with me. So nice. There you go. I think you can go to newsletter.freetalklive.com too, because we're good like that.
Guys are.
Yeah.
There's a .freetalklive.com for about everything you can imagine.
Subdomains are great. There's no doubt about it. So I guess we're going to stay out on the West Coast right now. I guess the great idea of having electric scooters in San Francisco isn't working.
Well, it is. It's working for a lot of people.
Okay.
But it doesn't really work for the government.
All right.
Of course. And of
course, if it works for people, it doesn't generally work for the government. The things that work for the government are things that just don't work for people.
I know. It's frustrating. But this comes to us from Reason.com. San Francisco demands e-scooters be removed from city streets. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Evidently, they
Can we define an e-scooter?
Yeah. I guess I think of e-scooters as Segways or like the upright, like sort of Razor scooters that have batteries in them now and things like that. Evidently, there's
What about an electric bike?
I think that would be an electric bike and not an electric scooter.
All right.
Yeah, but maybe the
some of the
story
scooters
will tell
look
us
a lot
something.
like bikes.
They do, and but again, this is so to answer this question, I'm sure there will be several pages of definition in whatever law they concoct to describe exactly what an e-scooter is, and then they will not accurately describe what an e-scooter is in another year because technology is going to change and move as it always does. San Francisco has given e-scooter companies an ultimatum. Get your vehicles off our streets by June 4th or risk fines of $100 per day per scooter. And we just might take the scooters too. Some companies might be allowed to rent out their electric dockless scooters again, but not until they secure permits from the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Authority, SFMMTA, which won't be issuing them until late June at the earliest. So get them off the streets by June 4th, and you can't have them back out until we figure out our bureaucracy.
I guess, I'm curious as to what the problem was with these things besides the permit and the money that the government was going to get.
I think we'll get into that a little bit here. The announcement comes a month after the city issued cease and desist letters to several e-scooter companies and began impounding improperly parked vehicles. Austin, Texas, chased e-scooters company off the streets earlier this year, too.
Austin's not exactly for me, the harbinger of good news when it comes to government work.
No, it rarely is. The permits themselves were unveiled yesterday. They come with numerous new requirements for the e-scooter companies whose dockless vehicles, rentable via smartphone app, started cropping up in San Francisco earlier this year.
Where do you park these things if they don't have a dock and you just decide to get one with an app? I think that might be the problem here.
You just lean it up against a building. It's kind of crazy. The permits themselves were unveiled. They come with numerous new requirements for the e-scooter companies whose dockless vehicles, rentable via smartphone app, start cropping up in San Francisco earlier this year. The application costs alone are $5,000. So $5,000 just to ask for permission. Once approved.
I got to say that's one thing about the government that really, really stinks. The application fee. There is I can't think of any organization that has something similar to an application fee. Right. I guess renters. I have seen it where you can you have to pay like $25 or something, $50 to apply for a rental.
Okay, with the theory that you're going to have to spend that money on, background check or
that's
credit
what it
check.
Is. The theory is that money will be used, at least in part, by the landlord to run a background check on you.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, at the very least, you have some notion of what's in that background check.
Right.
Hopefully it's going to be criminal background check and then credit background check, right? And you can have a conversation with the landlord ahead of time. So I guess that's the only. Other than that, government charges application fees. Thanks for the $5,000. Goodbye.
Right, and we've talked at length about New York's changes to its cryptocurrency laws under what was that horrible act that they did down there?
I don't know what that was called, but the
bit license. And it has a similar $5,000 or $15,000 application fee, just for the pleasure of asking your government for permission. And just ask. They may still deny you. The application costs, again, are $5,000. Once approved, scooter companies such as Lime, Bird, and Spin, maybe we'll Google those to see exactly what they do.
They all have 4 letters.
There we go.
What's that tell you? And single syllables.
That's the magic of these e-scooter companies. We'll have to pay another $35.
That's why I picked the name Mark Edge. 4 letters, single syllable.
Oh, that's good.
I got you beat, John Ray.
John Ray, yeah. But Jonny Ray just sounds so much more homey. I mean, you want somebody named Jonny Ray to fix your car.
Yeah, I lose at this game.
It's going to be just fine then.
They have to pay another $35,000 should their applications be accepted.
Yay.
That's just part of the licensing process. The number of rental e-scooters available for all companies will be capped at 1,250 citywide for 6 months.
I don't know that this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I can tell you that the government does not know the right amount of scooters that San Francisco needs,
or any number. So when you hear government bureaucrats start spouting off a certain number of anything, I can guarantee it's wrong. Because one cannot know what the market is for something. That's why companies go into business, to discover it.
Right. That's the whole theory behind The Invisible Hand by Jonathan Smith and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, you can just look at the number 1,250 and know ain't no science behind that.
No.
If there was science, 1,331.
Right.
That's what they call that, a palindrome. It's the same coming and going. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, should have picked something else.
They'll be capped at 1,250 citywide for 6 months. Then they rise to 2,500, and companies will have to provide service area plans, which will be subject to city approval. These rules are necessary, city officials say, to combat the threat e-scooters pose to some deeply held San Francisco values.
The hell does that mean?
Not a damn thing.
And who knows what San Francisco...
Taxi medallions and the sales thereof.
Well,
I mean, that's what I see. San Francisco has got an existing relationship with a group of people with a vested interest, and they need to protect those people, the taxi cab owners.
It could be that. I could tell you there's some sad stories surrounding people who've invested in medallions in New York City that at one point were worth like $1 million a piece, and now are worth chump change.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Quote, we can have convenience, but it cannot sacrifice privacy or equity along the way, unquote, City Attorney Dennis Herrera informed everyone at a Thursday press release.
How do e-scooters sacrifice privacy?
Everyone needs to play by a set of rules for cities to function efficiently, safely, and equitably, even corporations, unquote, added San Francisco Supervisor Aaron Peskin.
I would have liked to have asked at that moment, Aaron, what year was the city of San Francisco incorporated?
Right.
Because the city of San Francisco is a corporation, too.
Absolutely.
So if your problem is for-profit corporations, just remember that cities aren't much different.
And you're expecting an answer from the San Francisco city supervisor to know that one? I'm going with he'll either pull something out of his butt or you'll be able to
I don't
tell
really
him.
care about the word. I just want to say incorporation.
I like the name Aaron Peskin because it has pesk in it, which sounds like pest. The author of the city's new e-scooter regulations.
Probably has something to do with fish.
Probably.
Yeah. Latin for fish is like
I
pest.
got a little bit more we can cover after this.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. San Francisco, well, they're going to decide how many e-scooters they need to have. Free Talk Live.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, mice, and rats. If you've made yourself at home in someone else's home, you'd better hope the owners never hear about Terminix. Because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has 90 years of experience eliminating home invaders. And they make it easy for homeowners to be protected by offering a free pest estimate by calling 1-800-676-9879. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, mice, rats, and other pests. This is your last chance. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will never stop working to keep you out with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Pests. Wherever you are, I will find you. Pests, you've been warned. Homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate. 1-800-676-9879. 1-800-676-9879. 30-day money-back guarantee at participating locations. Limitations apply. See plan for details.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from Omaha, Nebraska, the gateway to the West, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of May 26th through 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.51 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,302 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,429. Antiwar.com reports the U.S. Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, SIGAR, issued a new report on Thursday. The report concluded that the 15-year, $5 billion Afghan stabilization program has been a failure. SIGAR concluded that the U.S. had unrealistic expectations for the timeline of stabilizing Afghanistan and that many of the programs they attempted actually backfired. The report said that the problem was that they focused on the most dangerous districts in Afghanistan first, where the poor security made it virtually impossible to follow through on building projects. When the U.S. withdrew from those areas, the programs ended outright. Other programs, which were meant to increase Afghan government control, backfired even worse. In giving the corrupt Afghan government control over more districts, they exposed those areas to much greater corruption.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the former commanding officer of the USS John McCain pled guilty on Friday to dereliction of duty for a crash in 2017 that killed 10 soldiers. Under the plea deal, Navy Commander Alfredo Sanchez was issued a punitive letter of reprimand and was ordered to forfeit $6,000 in wages. Sanchez also agreed to submit a letter of resignation. The USS John McCain collided with an oil tanker, the Alnick MC, on August 20th, 2017 after making a sudden turn in the Singapore Strait. The turn caused the U.S. Navy warship to head into the path of the tanker. The Transportation Safety Investigation Bureau of Singapore said in a report in March that when the oil tanker crew saw the U.S. warship turning, they presumed the vessel could safely pass ahead.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Reuters reports a jury in South Carolina on Friday could not agree on a verdict in a case of a woman whose family said her long-term use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder led to her death from asbestos-related cancer, which resulted in a mistrial. The case of Bertilla Boyd Bosket, who died of a rare form of cancer in 2017 at the age of 30, is the latest in a series of trials in the United States that center around allegations that the company's talc-based powder contained asbestos. The company said in a statement, "We're disappointed that the jury did not reach a unanimous verdict for Johnson & Johnson," adding the talc in Johnson's baby powder does not contain asbestos, which is supported by more than 50 years of independent, non-litigation-driven scientific evaluations. Asbestos is a known carcinogen linked to mesothelioma, the type of cancer Boyd Bostic had been diagnosed with at the age of 29. After 2 weeks of trial, the jury in Darlington County Court of Common Pleas in South Carolina said it could not decide whether Johnson & Johnson was responsible for the disease. Under South Carolina state law, a jury has to make a unanimous decision. The case also named as a defendant the U.S. unit of talc supplier Imeris, as well as a local unit of the Rite Aid, one of the largest drugstore chains, which allegedly sold the baby powder used by the woman. Johnson & Johnson is battling some 9,000 cases claiming its talc products caused ovarian cancer, but litigants have recently focused on claims based on alleged asbestos contamination. The California jury on Thursday awarded $25.7 million in damages to a woman and her husband over allegations that the company's baby powder had caused her mesothelioma. A New Jersey jury in April ordered Johnson & Johnson and Imeris Talc America to pay $117 million to a man who alleged he developed mesothelioma due to asbestos exposure from talc-based products. The company won the only other asbestos-related trial in November when a Los Angeles Superior Court jury ruled in their favor. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hewlett-Packard is known for their basic, no-frills computers, but that doesn't mean they can't keep up with the latest technology. In a press release yesterday, HP said, quote, "We are excited to begin offering that cloud thing that everyone is talking about. We definitely have the cloud on our computers, and it is better than anyone else's cloud." Earlier today, I sat down with HP spokesman Gary Klinman, who said the company couldn't wait to show people, quote, how they do their cloud stuff.
We are absolutely thrilled that now people with computers or phones, both, will now be able to back things up to the cloud.
Klinman says it isn't surprising they're, quote, up on the cloud, considering they're on the cutting edge of all the latest tech trends. Are there any additional features?
Crowdsourcing is something we are having. Crowdsourcing 2.0. We have social sharing. We have 5G, 6G, really all the Gs. We have app. We have all of it in the computer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. This is Mark with you.
And Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
And Daryl is off at some convention someplace, so he'll probably be back next week. I'm presuming he will. Want to go on with a news story here, but Chris, there was just a little bit left with the story about the e-scooters being banned in San Francisco.
Well, yeah, they have to get them all off the streets right now, and basically what this looks like is sort of a Razor scooter, but it has batteries on it, and you can use it to... You could pick one up at like a mass transit station and drive it to work. It
sounds convenient.
It sounds great. You use your app to find the closest one. They had talked about the equity in making sure these were available. What they're really referring to there is San Francisco's propensity to require that everything be in every possible language. So because they have a website that is in English and Spanish, well, that doesn't include Chinese.
What about the people who speak Urdu?
Exactly. Right. So you're going to see stuff like that. And they also want to make sure that
that's what Google translates for, by the way.
Exactly. In the end, it's just a counterproductive strategy. If they really believe that these things do solve problems, which they sort of acknowledge, then why create a whole level of bureaucracy on top of it? And that's
what the state does.
That's what the state does, and that's Reason's major point on that. But hey, leave it to San Francisco.
Well, I have good news here. Apparently, there's a new radar gun available for police that can now detect whether or not people are texting.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
So instead of just getting your speed checked, now they can determine whether or not somebody in your car is texting. So going from badasscars.cf, you've probably seen police officers point a radar gun at passing cars. Those tools can be used to detect if a car is speeding by clocking a vehicle's speed. Well, that's useful. But you probably didn't know that those radar guns can also be used to see if a person is texting and driving. Distracted driving is a big problem.
Seems like they'd be able to determine whether or not a person in the car was texting. I don't know that they could tell if the driver was doing it.
The person who wrote this is completely irresponsible boob, and you're correct.
I agree.
A Virginia-based company developed the guns. They work by detecting radio frequencies. These frequencies are emitted from a cell phone. There's a different frequency in the phone that emits when a text message is being sent. The radar gun detects the text frequency, and they know that someone in the vehicle is texting while driving.
So,
like I said,
can you be pulled over just for the texting part? Because this seems like a huge Fourth Amendment violation.
I think that you... Okay, so I would say that there's probable cause for a police officer if they, A, have a piece of equipment that says there's text emanating from a vehicle,
right,
and B, see one head.
Right. That would have to be the criteria.
Especially a head that's like facing down at his lap.
Exactly. And not in the road.
Brightly illuminated.
Right, illuminated face facing down. It's a glow-in-the-dark lap.
But that's the problem. When we come up with these laws against texting, what do people do? They put their phone out of sight of any law enforcement officer, which means it's not where they can see it normally when driving.
Yeah.
And it's such a farce. I mean, I recognize that there's distracted driving, and there's also distracted driving by air conditioners, by radios in cars, by all sorts of different buttons and GPSs that are built right into cars now.
Yep.
Touchscreens and everything else. So to single this one piece of technology out, it's just specious.
I've got a car that integrates the telephone answering into the stereo of the car.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't always have this, so I have some experience. I imagine everyone does in using a smartphone while driving. Now, I've never, that I know of, cannot think of having sent a text by typing into a phone while driving. But I can tell you, I have in my life read a paperback book while driving.
I have done that too. I used to do that on the way to work.
And I'm going to call it irresponsible.
I will agree with that assessment.
And I eat while I'm driving.
Right. Yeah.
And if baby's wearing her blue jeans, sometimes I take my eye off the road.
Yeah. Well, that's I will say, as far as distracted driving goes, I've been in situations where I was looking at somebody's fanny instead of paying attention.
Yep.
And wow, I mean, what are you going to do about that, law enforcement officer?
You guys took the most mild thing I could imagine there, and compared to where my mind immediately went as far as distracted driving.
Yeah.
I think it's great that technology. There weren't laws out when I bought a new Pioneer head unit that integrated well with my phone. This was several years ago.
Uh-huh.
I did that because I recognize that I get distracted sometimes, and I want all those features of my phone while I'm driving. I want to be able to use voice to text. I want to be able to quickly answer a phone call by hitting a big green button on a big touch screen as opposed to fumbling around from my phone.
Right.
Those are things that I desire, and I paid money for that. And I just, the idea that we can legislate ourselves to a perfectly safe world is folly.
It also, I agree with you that basically these laws drive the cell phone into the lap.
Yeah.
And I would question, first off, we know that talking on the phone, whether you are have a headset on or not, like the simple fact that you've got your hand up to your ear likely causes very few accidents.
Right.
So the level of distractedness while talking on the phone, not that big of a deal. Texting, I can see that. I get it, but it would probably be safer if we, didn't drive it into people's laps. But at the same time, I don't want people texting while driving, so this is not the easiest conundrum in the world. I just want my listeners to know that, hey, if you've got one of those aggressive police departments that likes to spend lots of money to get cool toys, this is the next toy coming.
I guarantee it. And I don't know. I always thought, I imagined the steering wheel keyboard. This was an invention of mine that I never invented.
Uh-huh.
But the idea was, at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you had like a set of 5 keys and some like little way to shift so you could actually type long documents while driving.
God, it's terrible.
Where my mind goes.
Well, I think that you'll find at some point, in our new digital future, a one-handed typing situation. I imagine they're already being worked on. Somebody's got something out there, but
I think the porn industry has driven the one-handed typing.
I don't even.
It's already been there.
Yeah. That the other hand, left-handed typing.
Now, Mark, have you ever invented something that you didn't invent?
I came up with the idea of putting prisms on the top of solar panels decades after somebody had come up with that idea.
Oh, and what does that do?
Puts more suns, putting more power into a solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that makes sense. And go ahead. No, I want to hear yours.
My invention was the posture-improving sunglasses.
The posture-improving sunglasses, all right.
Right. You simply black out the top 80% of your glasses, and then you are forced to...
I like it.
Lift your head. Yes.
Way back.
Yeah, way back.
Because I was watching the sequel to Friday, Next Friday, and there were some essays in that film who had their headgear pulled so far down over their head that they had excellent posture.
Is
interesting.
Is this Friday the movie that Bye Felicia came from?
I don't know that. I don't know about that.
Is that Ice Cube?
Yeah.
And
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, the one from Fifth Element, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's where Bye Felicia came from, the saying that I don't know exactly what it means entirely, but apparently when your friends leave, you say bye Felicia, even if your friends aren't female. And the idea is that you didn't want them around anyway or something. I don't know. I'm not your go-to for Urban Dictionary stuff, but that's the movie Whence It Comes.
All right.
And I would recommend, Jonny Ray, you come up with a different version that has it blacked out on the bottom so people will quit tilting their neck down to stare at their cell phone. They have to lift it up.
Oh, yeah.
And because that's another source of neck injury, people staring at their phones in their laps.
Yeah, your phone, your head being bent down like that all the time? Bad. 855 450 free. Free Talk Live.
From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation, a difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind, but we are bringing things up. I guess there's new technology out now that in police radar guns that allow them to be able to see whether you're texting and driving. And, well, I guess I'm of two minds in this. Texting and driving certainly seems irresponsible, but then again, I think that the older generations hated the younger generation as long as there's been an older and a younger generation. Right. Tharg, you're chipping that flint exactly the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. Generally, old curmudgeons like me dislike the Bitcoin technology. However, there are some that have adopted and made quite a bit of money checking out Bitcoin. You may want to find out more about Bitcoin, too. I recommend Bitcoin.com. There, you can find out how to get a wallet, how to purchase Bitcoin, how to use Bitcoin, how to mine Bitcoin. They've got, if you go to pool.bitcoin.com, they make it easy for you to mine Bitcoins. They've got news, so it's for people who aren't just new to Bitcoin, but in fact those that want to find out more about what's going on with Bitcoin right now. Great reporting over at Bitcoin.com. It's news.bitcoin.com will get you the news, but just check it out first. Just go to the landing page there at bitcoin.com. Let's go to Richard calling in from, it looks like Asheville, North Carolina. Richard, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Greetings, gentlemen.
What's on your mind, Richard?
I have the same two-mindedness regarding mobile device usage behind the wheel. And I imagine it comes from trying to apply the general school of libertarian thought to something so public and socialist as the public streets and highways. There's a cascade of logic that we would just have to throw out the window before we could even get down to talking about it. So something as minute as something irresponsible like that. And
that really does sum it up because, roads are owned by the government. We don't know what kind of road technology would be in place right now if it wasn't for the fact that the state ran these things. If they were more privately run, certainly people could have whatever rules they want, but it's quite possible we'd have those self-driving cars already, in which case texting and driving is irrelevant. So who knows?
I tread lightly on public streets and highways. I drive an incredibly small, incredibly efficient vehicle, so I pay as little tax as possible.
What do you got, one of the smart cars?
It's even smaller than that.
A motorcycle.
Anyway, almost.
Unicycle?
With air conditioning. And yeah, exactly. So, for me, it's lethal to look at the phone instead of where I'm going because, I'll get snot bubbled.
Yep.
At rolling a stop sign and all that. So, I see it from the perspective of everybody else kind of gets, if it's legal for everybody, we're not necessarily sharing the road equally. God forbid you run over a bicyclist while you're doing it. I think if we've got something so socially supported as public streets and highways, why should we stand in the way of them being legislated and regulated? And it's anybody's choice at that point. It's the majority rule. There's no freedom to be spoken for there. And I think it's socially reprehensible. I think we lose 15 minutes a day in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon. And that's only because people on the way home are less worried about getting to work. So they spend even more time looking at the phone instead of the traffic light. And it doesn't bother me at all if the government finally steps in and starts regulating this thing that's wasting all of our tax dollars that we're spending anyway on having a way to transport ourselves.
So, I can tell you this. There's been laws passed in many states like you can't smoke in public buildings and things like that, but private buildings that are open to the public. Now, I don't smoke, and I don't like the smell of smoke. I certainly don't like smoke at a breakfast place. That just makes me nuts. The idea of eating my eggs while somebody's, finishing up their Pall Mall next to me.
Right. I'm a smoker, and I don't like to eat where people are smoking.
Right. Oh, that's right. You do smoke cigarettes. I never see you smoking. Rarely see you smoking one, so it doesn't enter my world.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Steve Martin had a line about that. He was on an airliner way back in the day, and the guy asked him, sitting in the seat next to him, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And Steve Martin was like, "Why no? Do you mind if I fart?"
I remember when you could smoke on planes.
Yeah.
But man, that was my childhood. I wasn't very old. I can only imagine the conflicts that would have brought now with the new tighter seating arrangements that airplanes have.
Oh yeah.
God,
gentlemen, if I may just offer one more thought, and then we'll move on. Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I skip past like iHeartRadio and the fact that they want everybody to listen to the radio on the cell phone so we can give the radio waves away. But if we give over driving of cars to computers, you think about all the technology and where we're really going with this thing. I mean, I've seen it with my own two eyes, this Waze app and all these navigation apps.
Sure.
Like, the technology providers are encouraging the use of the phones because it's allowing them to collect the metadata to actually allow them to pilot the vehicles as well or better than us. Of course, the computer could do it better than us if it were so properly programmed.
Yeah.
We are giving that data over to them every time we use the mobile device in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a day coming where driving your own car is not going to be a ride anymore. So the bigger fight here isn't whether or not you're allowed to miss the green light because you're talking to your girly friend. The bigger fight is over whether or not in 50 years from now, the idea of being able to transport yourself on the open road is even going to be an option, and whether or not that's going to be monitored by Big Brother or not.
Yeah.
So,
well,
for all libertarians out there, I would say put the phone down, drive the car, set an example, and let's preserve this freedom for as long as we can.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think the market is currently providing one alternative to a lot of different things that the state previously provided, and that's okay. I mean, me, just as a knee-jerk reaction as a libertarian, I tend to go with the open market solution whenever I can and eschew the whatever the state wants to foist upon me. So I kind of see your point. I'm not a big believer in for the common good. That generally just sort of rubs me the other way.
There are private
really,
phone options coming, though.
Right.
And Apple did stand up to the federal government when it came to cracking a phone. There's some lights at the end of the tunnel on this one.
Yeah, and
We've got to resist the pressure. We've got to resist the pressure of being told that this is okay, this is the way it is. If I want to ride my motorcycle and I want to then stop and talk on my phone, those of us truck drivers, I mean, think about where they're coming from.
Right.
They deal with the cell phone problem. They've been doing it for 20 years. They've seen the change. They're the last person in the world to catch it every once in a while. I mean, there's a social pressure for people who even know it's wrong to go ahead and do it because it's the cool thing. And even though the government may legislate and we may eventually get on the path, I think those of us who are in an opportunity to provide, and again, should set an example, to resist that social pressure.
Yep. I go along with setting a good example.
I'm going to think about it. But I think thanks for the call. I do appreciate it, Richard. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm going to think about it.
Right. There you go.
Thanks for the call. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. What do you think? Is the government tracking your every move when you're using your cell phone in your car? Free Talk Live.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code radio at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We're talking about texting while driving here. And new technology that's come out with police officers now having radar guns that not only tell your speed, and I don't know if radar is even the right term. It's probably a LiDAR gun. But you know, the article I have isn't exactly responsible on in its writing here. It's Mark with you,
Jonny Ray
and Chris.
It's Free Talk Live. Our number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Talked about Bitcoin in the previous hour, and I want to tell you about Zencash too, because, well, Bitcoin may be the big kid on the block as far as cryptocurrencies go, but it's also one of the older techs out there too. And sometimes you just don't want people knowing what your transactions are. Every transaction on the Bitcoin network's recorded forever and ever. So they've got new privacy coins, and I think Zencash is one to really be looking for because they've got 11,000 secure nodes. That's more than even, I believe, the nodes the Bitcoin has.
Don't count a Bitcoin, correct?
Yep. So, it's an equal opportunity for everybody to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. Zencash allows for secure private transactions. You can learn more
at zencash.com. I think this is a great coin. I've been watching it during this most recent sort of up and downs with Bitcoin, and it seems to move opposite Bitcoin. Wish there was a better way to trade it.
Right.
Zencash.com. Carl calling in from, looks like Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Carl, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thanks for taking my call. Do you have anything called safe zones in New Hampshire?
Whatever it is, I would doubt very seriously it's safe, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's on 32240, also known as Black Horse Pike near me. And if you get stopped there, the fines are doubled. The speed limit's 50 miles an hour there, by the way. And I tell people about it. They haven't even noticed them safe zone signs. And this month, it's the flavor of this month is seat belts. They bring in police officers on overtime to enforce that. Last month was distracted driving. And see, my problem with all of that is, why aren't you enforcing them laws every day? Why do you have to be brought in on overtime to do it?
Right, as they do.
And we also have a number, pound 77. If you see these things happening, you can rat them out and give them their tag number, and if they can stop them, they will. If not, they'll send a letter home to where their tags are at, warning them.
Unreal.
Someone believes that you may have been doing something wrong.
Yeah, but there's a lot of programs out there that do really promote being a rat. You know, turn your neighbor in, and that's very Orwellian to me.
Yeah, I agree. But you do agree that they should enforce the laws every day, not get paid extra to do it, don't you?
Well, that's the game being played between Washington and the states. So, you know, of course, Washington sucks up all the fruits of everyone's labor, and we transfer it all to D.C., and then for states to try to recoup some of that, they will take part in certain grant programs, and the seatbelt one's a very common one that's used all over the country, and basically they will give you back some money that can only be used for overtime for police to go after people that are not wearing their safety belts. So it's specific, and we sit there and go, why would they just use it for overtime? Because that's how the stupid grant's written, you know, so... It's just a perversion of every economic model, and you can imagine.
Right. And what I like when somebody says, you stop me because they're driving black, and I tell them no. They stop you because they want the green stuff. They don't care what race you are.
Another thing, Chris, about overtime is, so it's my understanding when it comes to retirement, the police officers get basically some percentage, like 80% of their last 3 years' paycheck or whatever.
Right. They average it out. We had some story that we were talking about like that. I remember that.
Right.
Yes.
So departments will work with their police officers, and especially the higher ranked police officers, to make sure that they get the most that they can get by giving them more overtime as they're getting on up there, with the intention that, okay, you're going to retire in the next 3 years. We'll make sure that you get a lot of overtime so that then your pay is mirrored, and you get that 80%, and you've got this huge pension payout, which of course doesn't cost the department anything. It costs the city something.
And every taxpayer.
Well, it pits the law enforcement against the taxpayers.
Right.
Like the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving. In fact, they're doing quite the opposite in that circumstance.
Right. And then so they get pensions of $60,000 a year or higher, maybe $110,000 a year, when us slobs are lucky to get $18,000 a year in a pension. Jeez.
It's
oh well.
Yeah, I mean, and then these government pensions are suffering, and we're supposed to feel bad about it. Like it's a mess.
Yeah.
Basically, what it comes down to, when you work with a organization who's funded through extortion, argue that. Argue that organization isn't funded through extortion. If you work for an organization that's funded through extortion, expect problems.
Right. Yeah, that they're short funded, and now we're going to make you real taxpayers pay even more. That's what they do in New Jersey. So that their pensions, they're broke in New Jersey.
Well,
and yet they'll say you'll pay more taxpayers to fund them.
Yeah,
I'm almost
until people move out of New Jersey. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think they're going to have a place to move to. And I will argue that the pension problem with municipalities and states is likely to be one of the things that finally does away with this abomination of public unions, private public sector unions and things like that, negotiating these insane pension plans. No one can afford them.
Yeah.
And we've seen municipal bankruptcies left and right all across the country. It always comes down to the same thing. It's the pension. It's that long-term unfunded liability that is just looming, waiting to explode. I can't wait. I'll eat popcorn and watch.
Where I'm from down in Florida is one of the posher areas. When I left there, I was paying $1,400 a month in tax. Excuse me, a year in property taxes. I imagine that people in New Jersey would, do just about anything to pay those kind of numbers.
Right.
They're going to move down, and they're going to say, well, everything's been great in New Jersey, but I'm going to go down to Florida. And that's why the population in Florida keeps going up, and up. Generally, it's older folks who don't want to pay for public schools, so the schools aren't that great down there. But, all in all, they got what they want, and it seems to be working out. So, Carl, how long for you? How long are you going to stay in Jersey?
Well, I hope that my wife and I will leave within the next 2 years. We're waiting for our favorite grandson to graduate. You're never supposed to say one's favorite, are you?
He's probably not listening.
Carl, are you from New Jersey? You sound like you're from Pennsylvania to me.
No.
Not far.
My wife and I were both born in 1950 in New Jersey. We've lived here since then, and we don't care. We can go to states where we can get sand in our shoes. It don't have to be New Jersey sand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's that's what people. The conclusion. Thanks for the call, Carl. Appreciate it. That's the conclusion that people all over the country are coming to. Is that they'd rather just go to the zones where the taxes are lower.
Right.
And Florida, as the case may be, benefits from the idea that people, the big mouse, right? People want to go down to Florida for a variety of reasons,
right?
Amusement parks, beaches, all these things. Florida throws a few taxes at them when they're on vacation. They don't care about the taxes,
right?
And so all those millions and millions of visitors per year kind of shoulders some of the burden of taxes for the average person. Most states don't have that kind of benefit of the visitors, and so it's everybody else that these bureaucracies just keep on getting built on top of.
Mouse taxes.
That's right. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here at Free Talk Live. Why do you think people are moving from the high tax zones to low tax zones? I could be wrong, right? Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Did you know that 35% of high school girls report that they've only had sex with 1 or 2 partners a year, instead of having the living shit out of them by any guy they see?
Did you know that only half of all 17-year-old males report without a condom, even though it's really the only way to go?
There are thousands of American teenagers today who are unaware of the full benefits of your brains out all day, every day. These otherwise average high schoolers haven't been taught about every chance you get, pounding each other dry and never ever pulling out. Every sexually active high school student should know this stuff. Ditch the condoms, because it's always better raw. Stop worrying about STDs. Every chance you get. Just keep and and strangers, doesn't matter who. And most importantly, be direct with your partner about how badly you want to their brains out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We were talking about in the last segment how it's not that anyone hates these the people that work for local governments or anything like that, but there tends to be a problem when it comes to public sector unions, pricing for service, what expectations are surrounding that, and what people believe they need to have a good life, and all these numbers that go one way or the other. Because I can tell you, sitting on one side of the fence, which is the people that have to pay, that I've worked most of my life, still work for. I've worked every day of my life for a company that didn't offer me optical, dental, did not have good medical, if it had medical at all. That all these things are something that really are largely offered by public sector employment, and the public sector unions are the ones that are getting the better and better pay. In many of these northern cities, these big cities, you'll find very high pay for these kinds of work.
Great benefits.
Yeah.
When the first time...
I can see why in New York City, you want firefighters to do whatever it is that they do. Well, you got to pay them because they got to live there. I get it. I get that part. However,
I would also point out, look, fire departments have been now recruited into running ambulances, which was something that they were never intended to do. Ambulances are run privately all over the country to some success. There's volunteer fire departments. The vast majority of responders out there are volunteers. Fire departments aren't responsible for putting your fire out. They're responsible for preventing that fire from spreading. So response times, when they get down into the 5, 6, 7, 8 minute range, well, I mean, you're not going to see whole blocks going up in that period of time.
Right.
So I kind of think that fire departments, and I'm a firefighter, have been perverted a little bit from what they were intended to be. But there's no doubt that those guys that went up when everybody else was going down on 9/11, they had to swallow fear and do the right thing, and they did.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember when Obamacare was all the news, and people were talking about Cadillac plans. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Cadillac plans, these plans that are so, they just include everything, and it's beyond the means for anyone to buy. I had never in my life worked for a company that had anything which would be called a Cadillac plan under
the free market.
Obama, at all, until I started going through the budget for my little town here in New Hampshire. And guess what? As we started talking to insurance companies about lowering our rates, they're like, well, you are on a Cadillac plan, and those numbers are going to kick in next year if you don't do something about it. Yeah, Cadillac plan, town of 2,000 people in New Hampshire. Public, that's what you get.
Yep, and this is what happens. Everybody wants to take care of their public sector employee. In the case of your town, there's probably only a handful of them.
Right.
But they get good bennies.
Yes, they do.
And I can tell you they get grumpy when they don't get good bennies.
Yes, they do.
It's generally not a good job, right? Like, it's not the kind of job that somebody wakes up and, their feet hit the floor and they can't wait to get to work. It's usually pretty much drudgery doing those jobs. So there has to be something to get them to work.
There is, and that's the, in some cases, ridiculous pay, and the fact that they're going to receive state pensions for the rest of their lives. They're going to have insanely great health care and stuff like that.
It ain't working that way. It's not looking that way in Texas.
Yeah, well, that's the point. I mean, will this stuff crumble? I hope so.
Well, I don't want it to crumble for those people that have already got their pensions, have their expectations set out for them or whatever. But you need to understand that right now, if you're working for the government, that it's likely they're going to continue to move towards 401ks and away from pensions.
Sure.
That those just aren't the way things are working anymore.
It's financially, it's a Ponzi scheme. It is the worst. The idea is that there will, you put in money into this thing, and it's not how it works. It's your pensions, your tax dollars, more importantly, are going to fund current pensioners. That's where your taxes go. It's not that you're paying for the future or any garbage like that. All you're doing is keeping the current generation from missing a paycheck, and it can't continue. It can't be sustained.
It is unsustainable, especially as people move from population centers in the north to population centers in the south. You're going to have fewer and fewer people to milk for this stuff. Imagine what the bureaucrats from Detroit are feeling like. The ones that drove a school bus or whatever for 50 years in Detroit and then moved down to Lakeland, Florida, with the intention of being able to pinch their dollars and make it go farther. And believe me, there's somebody did exactly that. Now Detroit's a rust bucket and falling apart. And I don't know what's happened with their pension, but it's probably not in great shape.
Yeah, they either are or were in a bankruptcy, so I don't know where they're at. But those are the types of things that can certainly affect, long-term liability, like that bus driver's pension.
Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico on Skype. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, first of all, let me make you a local hero in Arizona. You say you got a new station in Arizona coming up?
Yeah, we do. We actually, it's in Prescott, Arizona. Yep.
So when you say it from now on, forever, say Prescott, Arizona.
Prescott.
Yep.
Okay.
Then they'll love you. They'll love you.
That's how people say it there, right?
Exactly, and they're very particular about it.
It's these localities have their preferences. It looks like Prescott, but you're right. Prescott, if that's how they pronounce it, that's how they want to have it heard. When I was out in Arizona a few years ago, I was surprised at how many people I saw that were open carrying pistols.
Really?
I just was kind of stunned. I didn't expect that. Here in New Hampshire, I see them now and then, but to be in Arizona for a grand total of maybe 7 days, and to see, wow, had to have been 5 open carriers.
Yeah, that would be big around here.
I couldn't believe it. That would have been a big period of time.
Yeah.
Some of them, admittedly, one was a waitress in Tombstone, Arizona.
Part of her shtick.
Yeah, but at the same time, it wasn't for her.
Right.
Like when I talked to her, she didn't feel that way.
Right.
And then I posted up on my Facebook page, and one of my wife's liberal friends says, I got up and walked out of the restaurant. Well, I didn't. I had pancakes. Thanks. And you know what? She didn't shoot me. Everything was fine. Prescott.
Yeah, Tombstone's a good one for Prescott. And you remember what I pay for property tax in New Mexico?
It was cheap and like 3 figures or something, right?
It was $50 a year.
$50 a year, okay.
Yeah, you know what the humidity is here right now?
No.
4%.
4%.
4%. Lowest I've ever seen it here is 2, and
God.
it's pretty commonly like 7, 10.
Do you buy lip balm by the case?
I bought. Last time I went to the store, I bought like 5 bottles of body lotion. So yeah, the answer to that is yes. That's actually too dry. It's preferable to have a little more humidity than 2%, 4%. Hey, you said something about firefighters perverted in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's common. You will see firefighters every Friday and Saturday night. All of a sudden, around 11 o'clock at night or so, big old fire truck will pull out of the fire station, and they'll start cruising the main drag and through Albuquerque, through the downtown and then the uptown, and then they'll stop that big fire truck right in front of the ice cream store or the pizza shop, and they'll get out and get their ice cream and their pizza. And so what they're doing is they're cruising chicks, with the city funded fire truck up Central, and like I said, 11 o'clock midnight on Friday.
I have
Saturday
never
night.
experienced this cruising thing.
Never?
Never have I seen the idea of taking a vehicle and driving it up and down a strip with the intention of showing it off to a bunch of kids on the strip.
You've never done it? Or
no, I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
On a movie, but I've never been in a place where this was done.
Oh, beach towns? Come on.
Wasn't done on Anna Marie Island.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
David.
actually, in Albuquerque, what they'll do on Central on the main street, or at least what they used to do, is they're going so slow that the car's going one way and the car's going the other way. They're going slow enough that they can actually pass phone numbers back and forth from one car to the other. But these firefighters. So we were talking to these dudes after they got out of their truck getting their ice cream, and so one of the people asked these firefighters, well, what do you guys do at the station? They're all, while you're stuck there. The dude says, and he was serious. Oh, sit around and watch porn.
Oh God.
So, perverted firefighters is correct.
There you go. Thanks for the call, David. The number is 855-450-3733. If you got cruising stories, perverted firefighter stories, whatever it might be, you're on Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
Were you born before the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just 2 of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. Today, you can get your very own free copy of Ted Benna's new book. Shipping and handling charges apply.
Get your copy of Ted Benna's book when you text Benna to 79000. Text BENNA to 79000. Text Benna to 79000 now.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Temporarily from Omaha, Nebraska, the gateway to the West, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of May 26th through 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.51 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,302 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,429. Antiwar.com reports the U.S. Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, SIGAR, issued a new report on Thursday. The report concluded that the 15-year, $5 billion Afghan stabilization program has been a failure. SIGAR concluded that the U.S. had unrealistic expectations for the timeline of stabilizing Afghanistan, and that many of the programs they attempted actually backfired. The report said that the problem was that they focused on the most dangerous districts in Afghanistan first, where the poor security made it virtually impossible to follow through on building projects. When the U.S. withdrew from those areas, the programs ended outright. Other programs, which were meant to increase Afghan government control, backfired even worse. In giving the corrupt Afghan government control over more districts, they exposed those areas to much greater corruption.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the former commanding officer of the USS John McCain pled guilty on Friday to dereliction of duty for a crash in 2017 that killed 10 soldiers. Under the plea deal, Navy Commander Alfredo Sanchez was issued a punitive letter of reprimand and was ordered to forfeit $6,000 in wages. Sanchez also agreed to submit a letter of resignation. The USS John McCain collided with an oil tanker, the Alnic MC, on August 20th, 2017 after making a sudden turn in the Singapore Strait. The turn caused the U.S. Navy warship to head into the path of the tanker. The Transportation Safety Investigation Bureau of Singapore said in a report in March that when the oil tanker crew saw the U.S. warship turning, they presumed the vessel could safely pass ahead.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Reuters reports a jury in South Carolina on Friday could not agree on a verdict in a case of a woman whose family said her long-term use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder led to her death from asbestos-related cancer, which resulted in a mistrial. The case of Bertila Boyd Bosket, who died of a rare form of cancer in 2017 at the age of 30, is the latest in a series of trials in the United States that center around allegations that the company's talc-based powder contained asbestos. The company said in a statement, "We're disappointed that the jury did not reach a unanimous verdict for Johnson & Johnson," adding the talc in Johnson's baby powder does not contain asbestos, which is supported by more than 50 years of independent, non-litigation-driven scientific evaluations. Asbestos as is a known carcinogen linked to mesothelioma, the type of cancer Boyd Bostic had been diagnosed with at the age of 29. After 2 weeks of trial, the jury in Darlington County Court of Common Pleas in South Carolina said it could not decide whether Johnson & Johnson was responsible for the disease. Under South Carolina state law, a jury has to make a unanimous decision. The case also named as a defendant the U.S. unit of talc supplier Imeris, as well as the local unit of the Rite Aid, one of the largest drugstore chains, which allegedly sold the baby powder used by the woman. Johnson & Johnson is battling some 9,000 cases claiming its talc products caused ovarian cancer, but litigants have recently focused on claims based on alleged asbestos contamination. A California jury on Thursday awarded $25.7 million in damages to a woman and her husband over allegations that the company's baby powder had caused her mesothelioma. A New Jersey jury in April ordered Johnson & Johnson and Imeris Talc America to pay $117 million to a man who alleged he developed mesothelioma due to asbestos exposure from talc-based products. The company won the only other asbestos-related trial in November when a Los Angeles Superior Court jury ruled in their favor. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
While waiting to interview for a web consultant position with local marketing firm Bizco, applicant Ryan Ehrlich told Onion reporters he wasn't entirely sure he was dynamic enough for his prospective employer.
When I first saw that the agency was looking for a leader willing to contribute as a valued member of the team, I thought it was the perfect fit. But the more I think about it, the less I'm sure I'm actually an energetic self-starter. I mean, I think I'm a versatile independent thinker, but honestly, how do you even know for sure?
Ehrlich, who found Bizco's online job posting earlier this week, went on to express doubts that he truly possesses the forward-thinking instincts and next-generation idea assets required to work with the fast-paced marketing firm's team of self-starters.
Can I reimagine a brand for a digital landscape? Sure, but do I really have the energy, skills, enthusiasm, and passion to be a part of this dynamic, growth-oriented company? I just don't know. Oh God, who am I kidding? There's no way I'm on the cutting edge.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. It is Mark with you.
Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
For those of you who do not know, we are live 7 days a week from 7p to 10p Eastern Time. You can call in. You're going to have to look that up on the internet. If you don't live 7p to 10p, you'll figure it out. But if you've got an issue, specifically, I mean, it could be an issue about anything, but a lot of people call in and ask us questions about libertarianism. You know, how would this work in a liberty-oriented world, or, you know, that thing, or, you know, stuff like that. And I think that we're certainly experts on that. But if you just want somebody else's thoughts, or you want to share some important piece of news, or you want to get something off your chest, you've got a theory about something, by God, we're your place.
Yeah, and if you saw Solo, a Star Wars story, go ahead and call in. I'm curious about people's opinions on that.
No spoilers. I think that, did we discuss this? Like, how long is a spoiler? You had some ridiculous theory on.
I said that you needed to wait 365 days before giving spoilers, and then I spoiled the whole movie that had come out the week before.
Details.
I kind of feel like there's, if you say spoiler alert, that you can pretty much say anything you want, but you don't.
You have to give people a long enough time to disengage from conversation, cover their ears, or whatever.
Yeah, you can't do it on live radio. You can only do that on a podcast. Because on a podcast, you can, after it's over, you know exactly when the spoilers end, and then you can edit in a note, an audible note at the beginning of the discussion saying, tune back in at the 31-minute mark, and the spoilers are done then.
That's good.
I suppose you could, but I'm going to do what I want on Free Talk Live. I will say this, though, that we are also a podcast, and you go to archives.freetalklive.com and get Free Talk Live going back for well more than a decade for free there at archives.freetalklive.com. Most radio programs out there are going to charge you for it in one manner or another. And by the way, if you're thinking of public radio right now, yep, You already got charged for it in one manner or another. But the commercial radio programs out there like Free Talk Live, they generally have a little Mouseketeer Club. And we'd have one, too. I'll tell you about it here coming up. But
I saw Deadpool 2 last night.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
And Deadpool dies several times in the movie.
Well, Deadpool is a dyer. It's kind of his thing. Several times. Wouldn't doubt it at all.
Not a spoiler.
Yeah. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Coming from NBCnews.com, 4-day weeks bring smiles to rural schools, but will they work in big cities? In many ways, Oliver Prince is your typical happy fifth grader. He enjoys recess, gym class, and time at school and the computer. But in one key way, he, along with another 92 students at the White Rock School in this tiny bucolic town 50 miles east of Oklahoma City, are very different. They go to school only 4 days a week. The single school district is one of the 97 of Oklahoma's 513 districts that have made the switch to 4-day weeks in recent years, citing struggles to cut their budgets and recruit high-quality teachers amid a nationwide teacher shortage and pay crisis that has a particularly devastating effect on schools in the Sooner State. There are lots of challenges and problems that people have tried to fix, Bob Gregg, the superintendent, told NBC News, but just because we've been doing it one way for a long time doesn't necessarily mean we need to do it that way. School districts are taking notice. The 4-day week is now beating a path to urban districts, which are facing their own crippling budget shortfalls, and teacher retention challenges are ready to try. They're ready to try new solutions and to solve growing problems. So,
I kind of like the idea. It seems like if you reduced a school week, and I'm thinking about a lot of the time I spent in school wasn't really educational. A lot of it was just more for fun and stuff like that.
It's middle-class welfare babysitting day prison.
I agree. But from an educational point of view, there was some stuff that just wasn't, some of the electives or not electives, but required courses that just you don't need. Maybe they could eliminate some of that.
You're talking about high school. I mean, in this case, they're talking about younger kids. But if you think about the things that younger kids are studying in school, right. So they'll usually get mathematics, right? Somewhere around third grade, they're hitting their times tables. Mm-hmm. They're doing division, subtraction, multiplication, division. It's rare that you're going on to something like algebra before sixth grade,
right?
And so if you're looking at something like writing, there's handwriting. I always wonder about cursive. I know that there's the proponents of cursive handwriting. They've got their shtick, and then nobody does it, right? I could write in cursive, but I won't.
Yeah, it takes me way, way, way too long to try to remember how to make a J.
Yeah.
I barely remember that.
I could probably do it with a few bumps along the way, but I just don't understand why these people are such fans of it all. But that's their business. So you could cut that right out.
Right. There's
spelling, but I didn't learn to spell because of spelling classes. I learned to spell because of reading.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of the opinion that if you read more, if you foster reading in a child, and I'm not talking about make them read, I'm talking about fostering reading.
Right.
I just had to deal with something that many parents have had to deal with throughout the years that I didn't realize that I was unprepared for, and that was my son's first Mad magazine. He found a Mad magazine at the grocery store, and it was some kind of ridiculously expensive anniversary edition that's surrounded like Star Wars and stuff. So it was like $12, $11.99.
Oh my God!
And I stood there for a second. I'm like, I do not want you reading this garbage, Jack. And then I realized that reading is more important than what you're consuming, and that he is going to.
Part of what you were saying was, I don't want you reading, Jack.
Yes, right. And I just stopped myself and I said, if you come up with $2, I'll cover the other. And how much is it? And he told me $11. And so he did the math on it, and I said I'd cover the rest, and he came up with $2 to buy this horrifying thing, and he did, and he's read the whole thing cover to cover, and he's working on it again.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
I always made that deal with our kids, was that I don't bug me because you want to go to the movie with your friends and you want $20. I mean, I'll do that every once in a while, but not all the time. But if you ever want a book, you ever want a magazine, I'll buy that. That was just our deal, that I would do that. And I think you're right. It's a valuable skill. It's how generation upon generation learned. I mean, that's how you learn. And I get a lot more from reading a book than, I do from Google. And honestly, I don't know how much reading is really emphasized. You have to be able to read, and they do score that against government standardized testing. And that's a pathetic number to look at in most school districts.
What I see is with these rural schools choosing to go to 4-day weeks is that you're going to have a lashback if you were to do this in more urban areas, basically a lashback from mommy and daddy who want their babysitting service.
Yeah.
And this, to me, brings sharply into focus one of the aspects. When I say middle-class welfare babysitting day prisons, I mean it.
Right.
Like I've come up with that verbiage for a reason. These are babysitting day prisons because you can't leave. They can't leave.
Right.
And one of the main purposes of government school education, private school education, one of the purposes of school is to get rid of the kid while the mom goes to work. Yeah. And look, I don't have a problem with stay-at-home dads. I'm just saying that generally you're talking about stay-at-home moms, and the idea that this is a government-instituted top-down plan to get ladies in the workforce.
Originally, I think it was just more about creating multiple citizens, people
also,
that were,
homogenizing attitudes. You can get all that from 4-day-a-week schools.
Yeah, you can.
But homogenizing, I was just listening to NPR, and they were talking about how Latinos wanted Latin studies, and they stopped that, and whatever. Right. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 here on Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees!
What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're welcome to call in and talk about whatever you want, but I'm talking about 4-day-a-week school weeks. Apparently they're kicking off in rural America, and just sort of some thoughts surrounding that. You're welcome to call in and give your thoughts. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of government school. I got to tell you that. So if you are, well, perhaps you can make me understand. I want to tell you about Save It Purse. Folks that are for and against government, big government, generally like to save money. And you can do that by using saveatpurse.com. Imagine being able to buy everything that you buy at Amazon, pretty much everything you want to buy in life, except for there's fewer things that it's except. It's easier to list off the things you can't get at Amazon than the things that you can. And imagine being able to buy those things at a 25% discount. It's like getting a raise of, 33% right off the bat. If you didn't understand that, perhaps government school is not for you. The number, you just go to saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. And you got to use Bitcoin, though. You got to use Bitcoin. I believe they take Bitcoin Cash now. And so, yeah, make it easy on you. Saveatpurse.com. It's probably some big giant conspiracy to bring down BTC that they're involved in. Saveatpurse.com. So there is this story from NBC News, and they're talking about how these school districts are benefiting from 4-day-a-week schools, and basically it's cheaper. They can offer, they can get teachers more cheaply, and it's not that big of a deal. And what brings to mind for me is how little time my son spends on schoolwork per day. And I'm talking about prescribed schoolwork.
Right.
So I don't have a prescription on how much he reads because there's not a problem. He reads on his own a great deal. It may not be the things I want him to read, but he reads. And so he's learning sentence structure. He's learning, all the things he needs to learn about reading and writing there. He's got to do some handwriting because his handwriting was awful, and I decided we're adding that to the curriculum. I just can't handle it anymore. But I'm much more interested in how he, that he's writing at all, not whether he does cursive or anything like that.
Right.
And mathematics, because he's just doesn't have much interest in it, so he's gonna have to learn some of the basics. We got him these Star Wars math books. He's at grade level doing math, and I tell him he's got to do 2 pages a day in these workbooks. The workbooks are probably about 180 pages, and that means in 90 days he can cover the math of a school year.
Right.
And he doesn't spend that much time doing this stuff. So, you can get another one to drive the lesson home. You can get another 4th grade school one that's not Star Wars, some other brand.
Right.
I think it's Overstreet's the company that puts it out. I might have their name wrong. I'm not doing advertising for them, so I don't have to get it right. But whatever the company is that puts it out. And they put out a whole variety of these things. It's all it's math, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. They got it down. He doesn't spend that much time doing it. I think that the vast majority of school is babysitting. It's human training and not actual academic education.
Yeah. And a level of indoctrination. I mean, the state runs it. The state puts forth their message, and they want kids to understand that how they are learning is to the state spec, and that's drilled into their head, and standardized testing and everything else. The other thing you can do, Jack could advance, right? You could instead of what grade is he? Grade level is he at?
About 4th.
About 4th, yeah. You could give him 5th grade math stuff, and
I could. I don't know that. I don't particularly like that idea. I don't think that kids that get this, that have this huge head start into college really have that more satisfying lives.
I think it could go the other way when you're the 13-year-old college freshman.
Yeah. For me, unless he shows a propensity in a particular area,
right?
And we'll study the heck out of that area together,
right?
But if he doesn't show a propensity for it, then I'm not going to push him in that direction. I just feel like he's got to keep up with the other kids.
Right.
Hey, look, if the public school kids can do it, Jack, you can. Okay. So, that's my theory on that one. Yeah.
My favorite libertarian zinger about the public schools is that they teach you how to stand in line.
Well, my favorite one, I don't know if it's a zinger, is that government school teachers disproportionately send their kids to private schools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that tell you?
Yeah.
People that work there day in and day out are less likely to send their kids to those schools. My God.
It's common sense.
Wake up.
Yeah. Well, that's the rest of America who needs to wake up and realize that
that's who I'm talking to.
You're not getting your money's worth. I mean, even if you buy into the idea of standardized tests, even if you don't, at least it's a yard marker. You can get a measure of how schools are doing. And I can tell you, I think it's 40% of my tax bill goes to my local school district, which places somewhere like 57th out of 62 school districts in the state. I mean, that's atrocious. And when it's like, I believe, I'm probably wrong, but it's never shocking when you hear that, reading competency for, sophomores at a certain high school is at 40%. It's insane. I mean,
what nationally, 20%, 19 point something percent of graduates. I try to stress that because I want people to understand that this isn't the folks that went into school and flunked out. This is the people that they gave a competency piece of paper to.
Right. Good enough.
Are functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
20%. That says to me that government schools hand out these pieces of paper to people who are unqualified to have them 20% of the time.
Right.
I mean, at 20%, you could not send kids to school at all and probably get those kind of numbers. Some districts, it's 40%. I suspect they tend to be inner city districts, but
not always. I can tell you. I mean, here in New Hampshire, and not for a lack of throwing money at the problem. That's the problem. We just need more money. Got to throw more money at it. That'll fix it.
The United States schools are the most well-funded in the world and some of the worst in industrialized nations. Money is not the solution.
I'm being facetious.
I know.
I know.
I'm telling the listeners, they really believe, because the teachers will tell you money is the solution.
If we only had more money.
The teachers' union isn't about educating kids. It's about paying teachers. Government programs aren't intended to solve their problems. If you will understand this one key, government programs are about employing more bureaucrats. And if failing is what it takes to get that done, failing is what they will do.
And they do it left and right. You cannot name a federal agency that hasn't failed at something in a spectacular way, and we give them more money.
Yeah,
that's the
their
first
goal.
reaction.
Their goal is more power and more money. More jobs mean more money, so that's really where the more money comes from. That's what their goal is. Their goal, in many cases, is to fail. 855-450-FREE. Please disagree with me. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. I want to be wrong.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can call us and talk about anything you want. We're talking about this news story about rural schools switching to 4-day-a-week schooling. And I don't know what I think about that in particular, but it's certainly given me the opportunity to talk about what I think about government school generally. Also, speaking of education, we've got an educational site. If you want to find out where people who are libertarians have businesses, you can go to liberty.menu. If you've got one, we'll go there. How about an organization? How about events? Liberty.menu's got it all. And also, if you want to go there, check out liberty.menu. That is a website, liberty.menu. Use code FTL. You get a special badge. Makes you special there. Liberty.menu. Let's go to Caroline calling in from Virginia. Caroline, you're on Free Talk Live. What is on your mind?
Well, I was listening to you talk about government education, and I've read a few articles lately that were really concerning about the new sexual ed curriculum, and they seem to be pushing some agenda about how it is important for these young people to realize that, you know, LGBT and other groups really want our students to understand about that kind of sex. And I also read that, you know, they are talking about bestiality and sexual things that just seem to be so deviant. And I just worried because further down in the article it said that the parents can no longer opt out for their children. And I wondered if you could address that issue.
Ooh, I'd love to.
Yeah, thank you. I love listening to y'all. You're wonderful. The other part of it, my concern was that they also seem to be pushing Islam in our public schools, and they don't allow Christians to talk about faith in schools because, I guess, of separation of church and state, but these children are receiving homework and they have to fill out questions and answer questions about who is God and Allah is God. And I don't know. It's very worrisome that they would allow that, but not allow any discussion about the founding fathers and how they were biblically based. And,
right.
You know, if you say God or say the Pledge of Allegiance, it's offensive.
Oh, okay.
And so
I've heard enough.
You could address those issues. And I just appreciate y'all so much. And I'll look forward to hearing what you have to say about those issues.
Sure. Get your kids out of public school. That's the short answer. And that's the only answer. You don't know who, you know, if you're trusting. It's basically like why I carry a gun. It's because I don't want to put the responsibility for my safety on someone else. I'm not going to do that. So I carry a gun. If my kids were in school, and thank God I've woken up by now, but if they would have been, we would have homeschooled. We would have done anything else. And the second thing is I would honestly, you know, Google Snopes and half the things that you said, because there's a lot of fear-mongering out there on the right about what's going on. And
I want to see pictures. For me, I need to see pictures of the homework assignment. So I'm not against education on Islam or Buddhism or Zoroastrianism.
Should taxpayers pay for it?
Shinto. I don't have a problem with it if they're
providing that in sort of a religion course. If we're going through history and we're looking at Christianity and Islam and those sorts of things, maybe some basics about these religions, what makes Buddhism versus, that kind of thing. If we're focusing on it and we're excluding the rest, then all you've got is a religious studies course that's being forced down somebody's throat, and I'm not for that.
Right, promoting one over the other, which I would argue that many schools traditionally have done with Christianity. Promoted Christianity.
But you got to pay for that.
yeah, but when I was growing up, I mean, there were lots of references to God in the Bible and things like that would come up, but there was never
It was
any...
really sticky when I was in government school. I'm probably about 10 years younger than you, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Something like that.
And that wouldn't have been happening too darned often in the government school. But I came from a private school where, parents paid extra for a good old biblical,
exactly.
And the thing is that the funny part is that the parents never agreed on what they wanted taught about this stuff.
No.
There were Catholic parents, there were, Protestants, there were evangelicals, and they all sort of mixed in one, disgusting little slurry that didn't really work out very well.
Right.
And so, that's the difficulty there. When it comes to sex ed, sex is a touchy topic that nobody's going to agree on. So I don't think schools should be covering this much at all.
I don't either.
Exactly.
You just give me the
either.
Yeah, all I want is Ms. Stephanie, who was my sex ed teacher, to get up there and very awkwardly try to explain this with a straight face.
Yeah.
How sex works, and that's it. I want it to be an uncomfortable situation, which is what sex ed was supposed to be about. I don't doubt that certain groups have certain agendas in mind, and I will argue that it sounds to me like you may have an agenda in mind, which is to promote, traditional heterosexual
values.
Right.
I mean, what's wrong with traditional values? That is what our country was founded on.
Well,
but when they're pushing this other agenda and not even making a reference to traditional values, I think that is harm.
Okay, how about if they talk about traditional heterosexual relationships and a passing comment or two about the fact that many people are gay? Would that upset you?
No, because I do think that's reality. I think we all have to live in this world, and I do believe that people have to make choices, and some are born that way. So I'm okay with that. But this article was talking about they were asking questions to the children, which were, and I'm sorry I can't be more specific. I could find the article and maybe email it to you, but it just seems so far out of what most people feel is normal.
I don't think we need pictures and graphics on homosexual sex in sex ed class.
Right,
I'm sorry.
or transgenders.
I just don't think we need it.
Yeah.
Right, but I want them to know that they are out there, and that's okay, but I agree. We don't need to know the details. In my generation, people didn't even talk about it. I mean, I just feel like they're pushing it in our face.
Well, they are in some cases. Are they pushing it in your school district? Can I ask exactly where you live again? I'm sorry, I forgot that.
I live in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Is Lynchburg, Virginia a hotbed of LGBT education in your public schools?
According to the article, yes.
So it's a local article. Yeah, that would be my question. I mean,
the difficulty is that here Caroline is paying for what's going on in her school,
right?
And she doesn't get to know.
True,
and she doesn't get to know. If she would have to spend a lot of time trying to parse through information to find out as a person who doesn't have a kid in school,
right,
what is being done with her money. Her money's being taken,
right,
and she's upset, rightfully so, that the education that she would like to see given is not given, because I can assure you the education that Caroline would like to be given is not being given.
I agree with that.
An education that is crappier than the one that she would like to be involved in is the one that's being given. Caroline, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. And at the same time, I don't think that schools can be the normative force. I don't think that they can
convince kids that don't tease the gay kid.
Right.
It's bad. The teacher is not the one to be doing that. That comes from the bottom up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Hey everyone! Proactive MD has an incredible offer for our radio listeners only. Stay tuned for our exclusive offer that includes a free charcoal pore cleansing brush and free shipping. Proactive MD with prescription strength adapalene can heal and prevent future breakouts. Today, for just $19.95, we're offering listeners the 3-piece Proactive MD system with free shipping, plus a free gift, the new charcoal pore cleansing brush. Get this exclusive offer by calling now, 1-800-583-8662, or go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO. You heard right. Proactive MD plus free shipping and a free gift. The new charcoal pore cleansing brush. You'll get all this for just $19.95 and their 60-day money-back guarantee. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you get your money back. Call now. 1-800-583-8662. That's 1-800-583-8662. Or go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO. Again, go to proactive.com and enter promo code RADIO.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Talking about, well, generally, it appears as though we've moved on from 4-day-a-week schools that are working for some rural school districts to just talking about government school education generally, which is fine by me. I don't have a particular problem with that. It's one of my favorite things to do. Talk about government school education because I am convinced it's a bad idea. And it's so fundamental when it comes to life in America. is you're expected to do it. People, I mean, you know, it's the way it is. The government gets 13 years of the vast majority of people's lives to educate them, and still they end up in prison, but at a higher rate. It's amazing.
Yeah, and indoctrinate. I mean, I as I look back at my time there, and as I watch my son go through it, I mean, it's brainwashing. It's trying to create this what they feel is the model citizen, and it was and is continues to be a suppression of free thinking. And take your kids out, homeschool them. You can do it. That's the thing. I mean, did you doubt, Mark, before you started? You were just confident from day one.
How hard could this be? I mean, seriously.
That is one aspect that people take. Some people look at it and go, my God, I don't know every subject, K through 12. I forgot all that stuff.
They look at early childhood education. They've given this new degree. It used to be just teaching, right?
Right.
Now, early childhood education is though there's some kind of magic that goes on.
Right.
There is not. These kids are eating paste, all right? That's not magic that's happening there. They're just preventing them from using the bathroom when they need to. That's all it is. It's basically knife fighting and cussing class, okay? I mean, seriously, what can possibly go on in grade school that's amazing? They're just not there.
I hear you.
And look, I get that I have a higher level of, I don't know. I don't have a higher level of education. I have some college.
Right. You got some smarts.
But I got some smarts.
Right.
And so I'm not scared. If my kid can read and do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division by the end of elementary school, what has he missed?
Here's what I think it is. Because I've talked to a lot of people about the idea of homeschooling, and they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I think their reluctance to do that is is the cause and effect of them attending public school in the first place.
I went to my high school reunion, and a few of my fellows ended up as government school teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I knew these people in high school. Okay?
Were they coaches?
It was not the cream of the crop,
right,
as it were. Now, that may be different in different schools, but I'm just saying these were average students.
I have a child due coming up here pretty soon.
Congratulations. I'm excited about this.
Thank you, Mark. And I was talking to my partner about it, and
partner. That's very hip. I call Ian my partner.
We're not married like you two are.
Your life partner.
Partner is one of those words. It could be, like the person you ride a horse with, right? Podna.
Exactly.
It could be your life mate. Could be your business partner. It could be the person you sit next to on the roller coaster. I don't know.
The person you play bridge with.
It's
a
on
your team.
Yeah.
But I told her that I wanted to homeschool the boy, and I didn't want to send it to a public school. And she said, he's got to get socialization.
Oh, it's also always socialization.
Right.
I mean, my thought was that's like I had said I don't want him eating sugar, and you told me, well, he's got to eat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, socialization. I think that means punched in the eye. I'm not sure what that means. I can bully my own kid. I don't need you people to do it.
Do you read Ron Paul's School Revolution by any chance?
No.
Great book. Highly recommend it. But it talks a lot about that and about how kids that, despite being homeschooled, one would think, end up being more social through some studies that they've done.
I was so proud of my son. So proud of him at 10 years old. He was taking his kayak back to the house before, back to the shore before my wife and I saw him, but I couldn't hear him. He said hello to the older couple that was on their dock.
Nice.
And I felt so relieved that I've been trying so hard. No, he didn't get the eye contact the way he should have, but whatever.
Right.
I was happy. Let's go to Dodger calling in from Michigan. Dodger, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi. What you guys were talking about kind of perfectly segued into what I wanted to discuss. I knew somebody that homeschooled their kids, and both of their kids went to college, both girls. before, and I know that this is a hit or a miss based on your brand of libertarianism, but they already had 1 year of college, pretty much all of their prereqs done when they went to college. And both went to extremely prestigious colleges. So
let me get this straight: they were homeschooled, and they managed to get like AP classes.
Yeah.
Actually, they were taking courses at the local community college while they were in high school.
Okay.
I see. You can actually do that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can go to community college. They'll sell you courses. That's what they're there for.
Well, and again, book by Ron Paul, The School Revolution, he talks about this, and there is another level that can be homeschooled that basically takes care of almost I think it takes care of your associate's degree, literally by the time the kid's 18. And he talks about how that should factor into your financial concerns. You know, if you're saving 2 years of college, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And no, I'm sorry. I have a lot to say in a very short time because I know this is the last segment. So it was looking at that, though, that my now ex-wife and I, when we started discussing my daughter's schooling, these two girls were kind of antisocial. And so that was our big decision that, all right, we're not going to homeschool. I didn't believe in homeschooling at the time. I do now. I mean, I've become a libertarian. But I
don't know that that's congruous, but go ahead.
But at either rate, so we were talking about it, and my ex-wife went to a neighboring school district. Actually, she went to the bigger district, Kalamazoo, that has something called the Kalamazoo Promise, where if you spend your 4 years in high school, you get $4,000 a year in college tuition paid for. And at either rate, it's based on the amount of time that you're in the school district, blah, blah, blah. And she was functionally illiterate, and she graduated with honors. Now, me, I just didn't care about school. And it was determined in the 6th grade that I was way smarter than the grades I was getting. And so she looks at me. She can't write me a note. I mean, she'd write me a note, and half the words are misspelled. And I'm talking like 3-letter words are misspelled. And I'm like, how in God's green earth can you misspell this?
Is it just spelling?
She graduated with honors.
It's stunning.
With honors.
I'm just trying to determine. So I've heard that spelling is its own form of intelligence and not related to other forms. So it could be that a person, like she's just got
a little dyslexia.
She could be smart, she could be educated, but she could just not be able to spell. But when you say 3-letter words, man, that's kind of scary.
Well, yeah, and she wasn't dumb by any stretch of the imagination, but, we're looking at the fact that I had maybe a C average through high school, and she graduated with honors.
Yeah.
And, I was better educated. So we attempted to pull her out of the school district. We were living in the same school district as her. The school wouldn't let us, so we decided to put her in a for-profit charter school. And I'm telling you, that's, because she and we were young, middle class, but very young. I mean, my daughter was born when I was 17, but, I pulled myself out of that. But at either rate, I'm just starting my career. We just don't have the money to put her in private school. We don't have the time because both of us had to work full time. So we're like, this is probably the best option.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's way better. I didn't like the uniforms because I like individuality.
Right.
We
I don't have the biggest problem with uniforms personally. I mean, it's easier to know what to buy the kid for school.
Right.
But in the same sense, she got a better education during that time. I mean, and I don't understand why people have a problem with like a charter school that wants to be for-profit but offers a better education. The way she and I figured, we were both paying, taxes anyway, and so we may as well take advantage and afford, we figured it's our taxes that are also funding the charter schools as well.
Oh, I don't have any problem with any of that either. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the call, Dodger. I appreciate it. The number's, I can't give you the number. What's the point in giving the number out?
For tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, you could do that. Until then, there are all kinds of free archives over at freetalklive.com. If you like the program, please check out the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at FPP